Okay, Pythagorean theorem. This formula can only ever be used inside a right triangle. Because next year, when you do trig in grade 11, your triangles don't have right angles in them anymore. And people try to use this formula. It doesn't work unless there's a right triangle. In a right triangle, the side across from the 90-degree angle is always so what is this side across from the 90? What can you tell me about this side? Physically, it has to be what? Anybody know? The longest, yeah. This side across from the 90 always has to be the longest side in the triangle. Do you see why? Does it make sense visually? Your longest side is always across from your largest angle. Do you ever have an angle bigger than 90 here or here? No. Okay, so here's the formula. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. So we always call this, in the formula, that's side C. The longest side is always C. A and B are the other sides. It doesn't matter. A and B, that doesn't matter. You could do this as the A or the B. This is the A or the B. Side C is what matters. Okay, here we go. Am I finding the side that's the longest, or am I finding one of the sides that's shorter? I'm finding the longest. Okay, so what we're going to do is go 5 squared plus 12 squared. And you can do that in your calculator. 5 squared plus 12 squared. And you get 169. What do you still have to do, though? That's not your answer. That side is not 169. Square, what thing? Square root. Do you remember me pushing this button? Square root answer. Remember that button? Square root answer. Because then you don't have to retype it. Equals 13. Has to be the longest side, so that makes sense. Okay, the next question. Is this side the longest side of the triangle or one of the shorter sides? It's one of the shorter sides. Because across from the 90 is the longest. So this is going to be different. To find a shorter side, I'm now going to move this formula around, and let's pretend I want to find A. If I want to find A, I would move that over. Does that make sense? I would subtract. So we're going to go 17 squared minus 8 squared equals A squared. Okay, so the longest you add. If you're going to do a shorter, you subtract. That's the gist of it. So 225, and then we're going to square root that answer, right? Does your triangle make sense? Does 15 seem appropriate as an answer? That's a good thing in your triangles to ask yourself that. I sometimes get people who forget to square root. And if you did, your answer would be 225. You should take a look at your triangle and think 225 seems very unreasonable for that side. Okay?
Do we have to write in the square root 225 equals square root a squared?
No.
Or is that
What did you just do? Just basically that?
Yeah.
Yep, that's fine. I'll do that, what you're saying, for this next one. Okay, ready? Is this a longer or a shorter? Shorter. So would I add or subtract stuff? Subtract. Which one should I start with first? The longest. Subtract the other. So I'm going to do that. 27 squared. Subtract 20 squared. 329. And I get a decimal, and that's okay. Does my number make sense to you? Is it reasonable?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so just to recap, when you are going to find the longest side, then you will add, right? When you're going to get the longest one, you're doing an add. And if you are going to find a shorter side, then you're going to have to do a subtract. If you want to write in like little formulas for yourself, that's what you would be doing. Okay? That's Pythagorean theorem.